and I've been actually pretty busy, and that's something that usually all these influencers say. Oh my god, I'm so busy, I'm going to all of these places and doing all this stuff, and that's why I haven't been posting. I haven't posted in like a long time a video like that. I have posted some travel recordings that I've made, but I haven't filmed a video where I sit down and talk about a topic. I have all of this footage of all sorts of things, and my dog and my travels and me going for like a bike ride with my bike video here. It's just like I have all this footage and I cannot get myself to sit down and edit all of that, mostly because I also now pretty much full-time work. It's weird to say that I work on Fiverr, but I do, and it's been working out so great. I have all these lovely clients and some clients from hell. That's gonna be like a whole different video because there's some clients, it's a whole thing. But yeah, and me and my mom have started a little business making trinkets and accessories, and I've been working on that and marketing that and going to markets and selling it and coming up with new ideas. I've also come up with an idea for a new site I want to build. So then I thought that I also want to write a book, and the book is going to be about today's topic actually in a very great detail. Let's get into today's video. So yeah, today's video title is What's Wrong With Me? Okay, I'm kidding. Anyway, I've seen some videos where people talk about their disability or something that they are going through, and it seems to be helping a lot of people who watch it. And in the last year, I discovered this Facebook group where people with the same thing that I have talk about what do they have, what is their progression, and what's going on. And I've learned that there's all sorts of levels of severity of the I don't like calling it the disease, but the illness that I have. Some people have it worse, some people don't show signs until they're like 60. So yeah, this video is going to be a little scattered. I don't have a script points, which I usually have like on the bed right there, and I can at least like glance over like, oh, like that's the new topic I should talk about now. What is people... Okay, let's start here. When people see me in a wheelchair, first off, they assume that I have broken my back and that my legs don't work, which is not right. I actually have a genetic disorder which makes your body weaker over time. Good news is it's not lethal. It just kind of makes your life harder as the years go by. For some people, as I mentioned, it could happen later in life. If they have a mild case, they might develop some weakness in their arms or legs. Usually it starts with the face and like shoulders and arms, and then kind of your back and your legs. And there's a lot of details that I don't want to go into right now because I don't want to feel this as like to be like kind of like a doctor's appointment where I usually have to sit down and like describe literally every little thing that is happening to me, and like when did everything start, how did you feel. Like I don't want to do that. What I want to say is I'm going to start with when I was little and then going onwards. So when I was very little, my parents noticed that I don't really smile much. That was when I was maybe a couple of years old, 2, 3, 5, something like that, I don't know. and they thought that I must just be the kind of child that doesn't really smile much, and it got hard to kind of lift my arms up, and my parents got like a bit curious, like why cannot she lift her hands, like her arms, like above her head, like what's up with that? And they sent me to a doctor, and that was pediatrician, I think. She's a very smart lady, and the moment she like saw me, I looked like a general little 7-year-old kid, but when she saw me and did all the little tests of like lift your hands and stand on one leg, stand on the other leg, after those tests she sat down me and my mom in the office, and she said, okay, like you should get her signed up for like disability as soon as possible. And my mom was like, what do you mean disability? Like, she fine. Like the doctor she has is like muscular dystrophy, because like the doctor didn't really know what that was, but she can tell what it is, and she said that it's a slowly progressing thing, and we were kind of scared a little bit. What do you mean? Days go by and I'm kind of fine, and I can now lift my arms. Okay, I can still do everything. So I get put on disability, and apparently it's she knew that it was from childhood, so didn't happen suddenly, like it was always there. So then let's fast forward grade 7 or 8, I started to feel like it was very hard to get up the stairs in school. I was always out of breath, and like I just could not. It was like a challenge, and the backpack was so heavy, and our classroom was on like the 4th floor, and I was like out of breath and felt like my legs are gonna fall off. It's like, imagine yourself if you were running like a marathon, and like in the middle of the marathon you're like, oh my god, I can feel it in my legs, like it's getting like real hard now. That's how I felt after like a flight of stairs. After grade 7 in that summer, we saw another doctor who is a surgeon, and he looked at me. He said that my back needs to be straightened. And at that time I already had signs of scoliosis and lordosis. That's a whole thing you can Google. I go into definitions, but basically your spine is starting to bend wrong ways because you're losing muscles in different parts of your body and using them wrongly, which makes the spine use itself wrongly. Everything just went wrong, like slowly, and the doctor was like, you need surgery, we need to get your back straight because it's only going to get worse. And by that time my back also started to hurt like a lot, and sitting and standing and going and running and whatever, and my back hurt, and like everything was very hard. I could still do just regular things that live a normal life. It just was kind of like really exhausting. And yeah, so grade 8 came, and I have to go to school. And the day before school, I'm packing like my backpack with all the books, and I try to put it on my back, and I can feel like the weight so expensive. Oh, it was heavy. It was so heavy. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna get that into school. School day comes, and I have to go to school, and I get the backpack on the back, and then we being driven to school, and we get out, and I slowly go towards like the school entrance, and the entrance has stairs leading up to it. And I get to the stairs, I'm already exhausted, and I'm like, oh man. I take one step up the stairs, and I just froze. What went through my mind is, I cannot get up these stairs. I absolutely cannot take another step up. I'm either gonna fall or I don't know. So I awkwardly just like stood there, like pretending that I'm just like looking around with my heavy backpack, like pretending like I'm looking for my friends, and I was like, oh my god, what do I do? I kind of turned around and like got off that one step and walked towards this little space where you can like sit down. I was like, I cannot do this. I cannot get into the school. This is it. Like I cannot get in. Like, what do I do now? And I started to panic, and then some of my friends appeared sitting down, and I was like, I cannot do this. I'm in so much pain because like my back's killing me. So my friends were like consoling me and like, it's gonna be okay, like maybe call your mom, I don't know, like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call my mom. And so I did. I called mom and I told her I cannot go to school. I can't walk up the stairs with this, like I cannot, I'm in pain, I need to go home. So my mom was like, okay, and she called, since she was at work, she called my sister's like boyfriend from that time, that was a long time ago, and he came to the school, he picked me up and he was like, it's okay. And yeah, all my friends at that time like went to the class, and yeah, everyone had to go to class, and I was just like sitting out there like, I'm going home. This must look weird. Why is that one kid sitting outside of the school and not going in? So yeah, I just walked to the car in pain and exhausted. Yeah, he drove me home, and that was the last time I went to that school because I can no longer attend regular kids school. So yeah, that was grade 8 about to start. So we quickly called my parents, signing me into another school that does like homeschooling. And how that process works here is a teacher comes to your house for like an hour and do like English class, and then you do the English class, she gives you homework, and next week she comes again. And same with all of the other teachers, and some you see more rarely. And sometimes I was like my dad or my mom took me to that other school to see a teacher for an hour. So I only had like a little baggie with like a book and a notebook, and like we went to the class and I sat down, had like an hour of studying with the teacher, and then I went home. So it wasn't like it wasn't like in the past where you have to go to school for the whole day. It was kind of like in little bits. Yeah, homeschooled is what it is. Yeah, it's not like my parents teach me, it's just like you kind of learn at home more than you do in a school or classroom environment. My parents kept taking me to school for like a couple more months in that 8th grade that I was about to start, and like I think it was October when my surgery was due. Yeah. And then kind of everything turned 180 degrees. You go to this hospital and they like do all the checkups and take pictures of like your back and everything. And next day they say, okay, like, not the next day, but like you're there for like 5 days and then you're scheduled for your big surgery. It's a big deal. Your whole back being like opened up and titanium rods put in with screws to make it straight. That sounds exciting. I'm like 14. I'm scared. Hospitals scare me to this day. I just like cannot. I've been to the hospital many times as a kid, just staying there for like a week and doing massages and like regular checkups. So I'm like used to the idea of hospital, but this time it was like a big deal, and they give you like this document you have to sign. It basically says like, yeah, there's a chance that something could go wrong, like this could happen, that could happen. You could suddenly like not feel your legs maybe, or maybe you even die. Like basically just sign here, so like we know that you know. I'm like, but this is a fun document to read and sign. So I think I signed it, and my dad was there reading it and signing it, and I could like feel my dad being kind of a little bit stressed because you're like reading about your kid that, yeah, she might die. Who wants to like read and sign that? Of course, the chance of that happening is very small, but like you never want to sign a paper where that is like a chance at all. My dad signs it and I sign it, and it was just like, okay, it was very quiet there. It was already like nighttime. It's October, so it's dark outside, and it's just like not a fun time. Next morning, my mom came very early, like 6 a.m. I think, and she like is gonna bring me to the not the surgery room, but the surgery area. Okay, slight change. So yeah, I'm walking down the hallway with my mom, and I am in severe pain. My back hurts. I am exhausted, and I'm also like crying my eyes out, and I'm so scared. I don't want to be going to the surgery. Like, no. So yeah, I go there, and like a surgery like happens what I do. Like you can Google that. Forward to when I wake up, but I'm like connected to all these like wires and like what's going on. But yeah, I woke up, and a nurse saw me wake up, and she came over and gave me like one sip of water, because she said like, if you drink too much you're gonna like get really, really nauseous, and you shouldn't. So thirsty. But yeah, like I got knocked out like after that again, like, and after like a day or two you're sent back to your like room. You can only like stand or lay down. You're not allowed to sit. After back surgery, yeah, the recovery was very hard, and the more I was laying down, the more I was losing muscle mass, because with this illness, if you do too much, you lose muscle. If you don't do anything, you lose muscle. So it's like, it's kind of like almost a lose-lose situation, but you have to figure out how to balance it. So a physical therapist usually came in, and we did some exercises, like very light. After the hospital, I'm sent home, and at this moment I'm still again only laying down. I'm allowed to lay down for 2 months, like lay down or sit. So I'm like eating in my bed, and because I cannot eat at a table like with everyone else. It was really a hard time, and it was also like the winter time. This is November, December, January. I was pretty much home the whole time, and I could only barely walk, like kind of, sort of, and not really. But I was walking, but I felt like I could fall very easily, because it feels like you're walking on stilts and kind of like balancing, like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna fall now. Kind of like that. Fast forward a little bit to when I'm like 18, I'm still kind of walking the same like way, not well, kind of wobbly, and like I hate it when like other like kids like look at me, and like I just didn't want to like stand out in a way like that I look like something is wrong with me. They must think that something is like wrong, and like they must think I'm like weird. And at that sensitive age of 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, yeah, you just want to be kind of regular and like do the regular things, and like buy fashionable clothes, and like go out and like go out with your friends or whatever. And like I could not do any of that. I was at home a lot, so I drew a lot. Like my skills skyrocketed. I've always been an artist, but like I really knew that this is what I have to do. Somewhere around that time of like 19, 20, I went to like a regular doctor, and she said, oh, there's this genetics doctor that you should see. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I've been to so many doctors. Cannot sit down by myself. Someone always had to like pick me up, to like stand up and help me sit down and pick me up. So I always was with my mom, or with my dad, or with my grandma, or with like a friend around, just like that. That was how I lived through all of that time. Not like getting really like weaker, like oh my god, I'm like getting weaker. It was just like after 2 years, they're like, I feel even more unsafe walking, so it must mean that I'm getting weaker. Seeing the basically genetics doctor, and the moment I wobbled in and she saw me, she's confident she knows what I have. We sat down.